throughout the San Francisco Bay Area. And since then, just been on the map, doing everything from remixes to productions, dealing with heavy hitters in the Bay Area like Rappin' Forte, Mac Mall, Trax Million, just doing my thing and just keeping one foot in the old school and one foot in the new school.
That's what's up. I like how you put that.
Thank you.
So let me ask you, man. I gotta ask you the all-universal, controversial DJ question.
Go.
How do you feel about, let me put it the nice way, vinyl versus controllers?
You mean the records versus the digital platform, or
yes, exactly.
records versus controllers and CDJs?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, put it to you this way. Just like anything, just like what you're doing now with the radio show, without the advancement of technology, you wouldn't have it. You'd be doing something else. I mean, who has 300,000 to have their own radio station? For real.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, if you're able to get down on the new technology and be effective, that's all that counts. If you are faking the funk and you're just up there pumping your fist and letting the pre-made mix play, yeah, that raised some flags. But as long as you're able to be legit, it doesn't matter if it's 2 turntables or 2 CDJs or 2 Fisher-Price. As long as you could get down, at the end of the day, that's what real DJing is all about.
Right. I like how you put that. You know, I asked that question because, you know, it's a lot of people stepping into the DJ arena, you know, because it's so easy to get equipment now, you know. What would you tell a person that wanted to become a DJ? You know what I'm saying? I just got my equipment. I really don't know what to do. I want to be a DJ. What's my next move?
Well, you have to know your history first. You have to kind of like go back to the roots and start understanding what DJing is really about. Because if you're not starting off on the right path, then all you're going to do is just where the trends are. Like me personally, I do tutoring for people that want to DJ, and it doesn't matter what age you are. You could be like 88-year-old that mom and dad wants you to learn the right way, or an 80-year-old that just wants to go ahead and and do it before he kicks the bucket.
Right.
So in between that, it's all about being able to know exactly the roots, being able to find the real reason that DJing became the way it is. And obviously it's through vinyl. Right. It's through the actual record, also the sources of where you're getting the actual record, which is the record stores, which is a dying breed.
Right.
When I tutor days, we take a trip. We take a trip to the record store and kind of like, okay, this is what it's about. This is where everything started, where you find that passion of collecting. And then when you find these records, then you start figuring out, okay, how do I mix it? And you start learning that structure of being able to mix them on beat and master that. So there's so many levels of being able to know if DJing is going to be something long term. And I find that out really early by seeing how dedicated they are with the vinyl end. Because without the vinyl knowledge and history, it's going to be kind of a struggle for us.
Right.
So,
right.
but different people that want to go ahead and teach DJing have different approaches. But I like to go where I was taught, which is with wax.
Right.
And that's where it's really comfortable for me.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you still teaching now?
Yeah. If someone hits me up, I'll like, tell me what you want to do, and if they have the right frame of mind, Let's go to it, and this is what I'm able to provide. If you're down, let's make it happen. But yeah, I do it probably like once or twice a month. I still have time for that.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, Slammin Sam, you said something about, you said you keep one foot in the old school and one foot in the new school. You know, how are you feeling about today's music and what you're seeing?
As far as hip-hop, or just across the board, all genres?
Well, yeah, kind of across the board, but more or less, you know, in hip-hop, in hip-hop and R&B, what you seeing?
Well, as far as that, I mean, it's just like technology. Everything evolves. And that's just part of evolving. Everything's going to change, and not many people are ready for that change. Sometimes it may not be for the better. And it's pretty evident with some of the music that's coming out in hip-hop today, because it's pretty... A lot of people say it's redundant, it doesn't take much to do it, but if you back up to 1993, 94, you got Whoop There It Is, and before that, you had the Two Live Crew stuff. A lot of that stuff was redundant, too.
Right.
And it's about the interpretation and the mindset. And a lot of the music that you're hearing today is what the kids want to formulate for kids to listen to. That's how it is. It's a demographic-based sound.
Right.
Because you don't want your 16-year-old son listening to granddad's music. That just doesn't seem cool. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just like back in the 80s. If you're listening, like, let's go back to Two Live Crew, right? It's hot. What was granddad listening to at the time? The Beatles.
Right.
You don't want to be telling your friends you're listening to the Beatles, even though you think the Beatles music is cool. So fast forward to now, the kids want to have something that they want to call their own. So all the Lil Yachty's and Lil Pumps, that music is just what works. And on top of that, you have to kind of accept it and know that that's the market. And at the same time, because I still do a lot of clubs each and every week, a lot of them are hip-hop curtain bass. It's like you're listening and watching all these older adults that are 30, 40-something, and they're loving Lil Pump.
Right.
They're loving Yachty. They're loving Drake. It's like, okay, so it comes down to just everyone's preference. But again, it goes back to how the kids want to have their own music and just say, this is ours.
True. Very true. Very good way to look at it. You know?
Yeah. Thank you.
Slammin Sam, I want to ask you about Beats for Hope, man. It's coming up, huh?
Yeah. I was involved with that last year. That was a tremendous event over at the Saddle Rack in Fremont. That was spearheaded by K-Mail DJ legend Alexander Mejia and the crew that he puts together. Yeah, it's incredible. It goes to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, all the efforts and donations and so forth, and everyone does their part. Lots of DJs are involved, and businesses. It's a real good situation. I'm glad that I was part of that.
For sure. So they're going to do it again this year?
Oh, I'm in, yeah, if they want me to.
Yeah. You know, I just got a chance to, I was just blessed with, I just got a chance to talk to Big Lou and Sean T. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Big Lou from the old Wild 107 days. How's he doing?
Right, he doing good. He doing good, man. You know, he wanted me to say hello. Tell him Big Lou said hello before he left.
Oh man, I need to catch up with him, man. I remember him and Victor Zaragoza on the air, and we used to be on the promo team driving the van around when I first started before I became a mixer. So he's part of the old school grind, moving up. I love him.
That's what's up. See, you just touched on another aspect I was going to ask you about, as far as how did you become a DJ? What made you get into DJing?
I just remember about 10 or 11, I was just mesmerized by this guy that was DJing a wedding. And I remember this specifically because I went up to the stage where this guy was DJing, and he wasn't even mixing. He wasn't. He just had this big old freaking component system with 45s. Yeah, I'm dating myself tremendously, but I don't care.
That's right, Baylife Radio. Take note.
And this gentleman was just playing these 45s, and I'm just right next to him watching him play these 45s one by one. There was no mixing, no nothing. And I was just really digging, Igor, just the way he was cleaning these 45s. Just like really like technical about it. And I'm like, wow, those things that he's cleaning seem kind of cool, because after he cleans it, he plays it. And I'm like, all right. So that was the initial seed that planted my interest in DJing on a very basic level. Because mind you, he wasn't mixing. He was just up there playing one song after another at a wedding.
Right.
But that triggered my interest at a very early starting point that, all right, this record thing is curbing my interest. What else is out there? Then soon after that, I started listening to all the radio stations that I could get on the FM dial, and obviously hearing one Kiss so well at the time, and that's when the legend, rest in peace, Cameron Paul, was gracing the airwaves. And from that point on, it was just inspiration, and just going to like mobile events, DJ showcases throughout the Bay Area, seeing other DJs spin, inspired me, and also cultivated my way of mixing, and that just springboarded everything. And I would say roughly 2 or 3 years after that initial experience is when everything started really becoming serious. So I would say I was like 16 in that neighborhood.
Woo. He dated himself again, y'all. I remember I couldn't wait to get home after school and set up my cassette tape so I could catch Cameron Paul's mix. I just had to have it. You know what I mean?
I still have those cassettes.
Right. Wow. Hey, I think if you showed a kid one of them right now, he'd have a hard time figuring out what that was.
But you know what? I would take the time to educate them on that, because that's important. Let our youth know about our history.
Very much so. You know, that's a one thing that me and Jeff Kwan always talk about. It's like nowadays, the kids that do get into music, it seems like it's so much in their face that they don't take the time to research. You know what I'm saying? To find out where certain sounds and certain hooks or, certain cadences come from.
I agree. Everything right now is so hyper information. It's just crazy. You can't even get away with anything nowadays, and a few hours later there's something new. And if there's a rumor, someone's talking. Can I cuss on the air?
Yeah, yes, we live raw and uncut.
I love it. I mean, it's like you can talk shit about anyone, and in 2 weeks, it's forgotten. That's how much of a hyper information culture that we live in. And these kids, they get so much in their face that so much to process, and it's really, really delicate. For any 16-year-old now, anyone in their teens, it's really, really challenging. And it's also a very blessed and privileged period to be living in, because you got so many options. It's a double-edged sword.
Right.
And back in the day, it was a little bit more simpler, because if you wanted to get a record, guess what? You had to go to the record store.
Exactly.
If you want to get a single now, guess what? Not only are you going to get a single, but you're going to get thousands of singles in less than a second. Just download it.
Right.
Crazy.
I remember it was some records that we couldn't even find in a record store. We had to wait till y'all played it on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That was the whole thing about pause mixing. You could hear it on the radio, but you couldn't necessarily just buy it just yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was that.
Yeah,
that
and you couldn't even identify it yet, because you don't even know who the artist is or the song. Now it's just you Shazam it, and that boom, you already know who it is. It's just instantaneous information. No.
Right. It's crazy because, like we were just saying earlier about how it's more information, less research. And back in the days, it was way less information and a whole lot more research.
I agree, and that is the evolution of technology, brother. We just have to use it as tools to help us live, not to run our lives. And we just have to be careful with it. That's with everything in general, not just music. So, yeah.
Yes. Say that.
That's deep.
That. So you still active now on the air somewhere?
Yeah, I'm actually... couple things. I do my weekly Slammin Mix show, which is on chew.tv /I am Slammin. That's on every week, either on a Wednesday or a Thursday night at 7:30 Pacific time. That goes for 3 hours. And I also have a weekly mix show on Rhythm 105.9 out of Yuba City, and that's on 7 o'clock on Saturdays. So that's my 1 foot in radio and 1 foot in online broadcasting. And yeah, that's
you're the
consistent.
second person that mentioned Chew TV to me. Someone was referring me to that because we used to run into before we built the website. We used to run into all the onlines like YouTube and Facebook. They always block your mixes.
Yep.
How do you get around that?
Well, with Chew.tv, because they're from the UK, they have a different licensing restriction, and that enables content that could be normally copyrighted here in the U.S. to be technically legal for broadcast through their platform. So, hey, they're doing something, and they haven't been taken down. So for now, that's the platform that I'm using, and I enjoy it. I remember when Facebook wasn't as policed as it is now, and I was really, really successful on that platform. But you play Justin Bieber or Drake, next thing you know, you're shut down in a set.
Yep, exactly. So. I wanted to ask you this, and this is a blessing right here that I get to ask a iconic DJ this question. I've just myself personally been looking into blanket licensing, and I was wondering, will that cover you as far as broadcasting, where you go?
Please repeat that.
I was asking that, I've just been looking into blanket licensing as far as, a DJ, because I've been told from different places that if you had a blanket license, you can play online. Some people told me that doesn't work, and I was wondering if you was familiar with that.
I've heard about that, but I'm not sure how legitimate it is. It's really, really like a juggling act and a toss-up, to be honest with you, because I see some DJs on Facebook, and they're playing Drake, they're playing all sorts of, like, copyrighted material, and they're not taken down.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know whether it has to do with paying for advertisement or they have a buddy that works at the headquarters at Facebook. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta go get a friend.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta go bring some pizza or something.
That's what's up. Well, man, Slammin Sam, I really, really appreciate you calling in and giving us some of this good game. Before we go, though, is it anybody out there you want to give shots out to or say what's up to?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to all the supporters and followers throughout I'm going to pretty much date myself, the decades of my work.
Right.
From teens to adulthood, and just to be ready because there's a lot more me to come. And for everyone out there, let the rhythm take you.
That's what's up. Thank you, Slammin Sam. And I gotta tell you, man, I'm gonna date myself too. I'm about to be 50, and I've been listening to y'all since I was 10. You feel me? So I want to thank you for the last 30 plus.
Well, you got me beat, brother. But you continue your grind, and shouts out to you, to Jeff, and the entire Baylife Radio crew, and all the network. Greatly appreciate your efforts, and keep it going. And if you need me back on, just give a holler.
Oh, most definitely. And I'm going to check you out on True TV as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
For sure. Live on BayLifeRadio.com. Slammin Sam. Hey, I appreciate it. We're going to talk again soon, man. We out of here on that note, people. Thank you for listening in. It's the Throwback. Thanks, Sam.
And see what we can find. Crooked ass cops that be getting niggas a gang of time. And now they wanna make a deal with me. Scoop me up and put me on their team and chill with me.
Whoa, was y'all hearing that? Y'all got good DJ game, good production game, good artist game today. Shouts out to Jeff Quan, By the Pound Media, One World Magazine, Square Vision, Next Day Prince, Precious Love Catering, Uncle Paul's Barbecue, oh yeah, and Zero Gravity Studios. We back in the mix. It's the Throwback.